Okay, tonight I would like to talk to you about hospice. Many people ask, what is hospice care and what can hospice offer? Hospice care is a special health care option for terminally ill patients and their families. It consists of a multidisciplinary team of physicians, RN case managers, social workers, volunteers, and home health aides. What can hospice offer? Hospice offers social, emotional, and spiritual assistance to the patient and patient's family. Patient is referred to hospice when all curative treatments have been exhausted and the patient has a prognosis of 6 months of life or less. The patient is treated by hospice regardless of patient's age or patient's ability to pay. Everyone has the right to die peacefully, with integrity, surrounded by loved ones, understanding the journey that they are on. The hospice team is dedicated to educating the patient and the patient's family on these changes. These changes may be physical, emotional, or spiritual in nature. Everyone's final journey is unique, regardless of their disease process. Some of the physical changes that your loved one may experience, the physical changes are the body's process of shutting down. Some of these are a diminished appetite. Patient may no longer be interested in meals. Next is change in pain level. Patient may experience increased pain or decreased pain. Hospice staff is there to ensure their comfort. Skin color changes and coolness. You may notice your loved one's extremities are cool to touch. You may notice the skin is much paler and some blotchiness on the skin. This is normal. And also some breathing changes. Patient may have slowed respirations or may not have any respirations for a short period of time. This again is part of the dying process. Emotional changes. This is where the patient is preparing to say goodbye. You may notice your loved one or the patient has decreased socialization. They may want to speak with few friends or family members. Also withdrawal, this is where they may want to not necessarily fully engage in a conversation but kind of sit in the background and just be present. The other is increased sleep during the day. You may notice that your loved one is sleeping more during the day. They may fall into a deep sleep and be very difficult to arouse at times. Next is spiritual changes. This is where a patient has one foot here in the physical world and one in the spiritual world. Some of these spiritual changes are vision-like experiences. You may notice that your loved one will talk of speaking with or seeing a loved one who has passed, or they may actually have a conversation with the loved one who has passed while you are actually present. The next is unusual communication. Patient may have some nonsensical speech or may say something odd at a time that it doesn't really make sense to those around the patient. And finally, a patient may experience a surge or a rally. This is where a patient who has been semi-conscious or unconscious for some time, may not have had anything to eat or drink, may suddenly wake up and be very alert and aware, ask for a meal or ask for something that they enjoyed during their life. So as you can see, a patient goes through many changes during the dying process. These changes can be very scary or confusing to a patient or the patient's family. This is where hospice, when hospice is on board, they are there to support, educate, and provide care to the patient and the patient's family. Again, everyone has a right to die peacefully with integrity, surrounded by loved ones, understanding the journey that they are on. Hospice believes that the end of life is a human experience, not a medical experience, that can benefit from expert medical and holistic support. It is true that the hardest thing that we face is saying our final goodbye. Some don't get a chance to say their final goodbye. Hospice hopes with them on board, again, educating, supporting, and providing comfort care, that a patient and patient's family member will be able to accept the dying moment as a special gift and treasure it forever. Thank you.